This topic is about subjects and verbs, which are the two essential elements of the sentence. First of all, the subject is the person or the thing that's being talked about in the sentence. I call it the subject, the doer of the sentence. Now the subject will be the word that answers these questions. Who or what does or did something? Our soccer team won the state championship. Who or what won the state championship? It's the team. You could ask who or what exists or existed in a particular way. My coat is too small. What's too small? My coat. Now the verb tells us what the subject is and what the subject is doing. A verb is what I say is being done in the sentence. Verbs show action and verbs show state of being. Verbs answer the questions, what is being done? What about the subject? Our soccer team won the state championship. So, what did the team do? What about the team? You're right, it won the state championship. Now there are two kinds of basic verbs. They're the action verbs and the state of being verbs. The action verbs show activity or movement, thought, and process. Now, some action verbs are made up of two words, a verb plus a preposition, like burn up, drop in, fill up. We could have used incinerate, visit. Instead, we use those little tiny verbs with the preposition at the end. Those are junk verbs. Now, there are two kinds of state of being verbs. The linking verbs, and I think of linking verbs as linking subjects to the adjective, that description word, or to a noun. They link the subject to a noun. And when I use a linking verb, I think equal sign, like in math. Then there are also the helping verbs. They help another verb show when that verb happened. It's the time the verb happened. So linking verbs link the subject to a word that renames it or describes the subject. Chris is my oldest and dearest friend. Chris is friend. Chris equals friend. Black olives are an essential ingredient in the salad. Olives are ingredient. Olives equal ingredient. The soup seems too hot to eat. Soup seems hot. Soup equals hot. The man appears confused. Man appears confused. Man equals confused. Now helping verbs help the action verb or the linking verb. Mike is writing a report about the great white shark. Is the helping word in front of writing. We are studying about the jaws and teeth of sharks. Are is the helping word. You should ask Dr. Brown that question. So what's the main verb? That's right, it's ask. It's an action verb. What's the helping verb? Should. You will be the winner of the contest. What's the linking verb? Be. It's like equals. You equal winner. What's the helping verb? Right, the verb that's in front of be, will. Now there are three ways to find the verb that we talked about, according to the author. What does the subject do? We ask that question. For example, my best friend studies marine biology. So what does my best friend do? Studies. Sharks attack their prey. What do sharks do? Attack. Here's another way. You can put a pronoun in front of the word you think is a verb. So if you think it's a verb, then say I or you or he or she, it or they. Those are all subject pronouns, and you can use any one of those. If the result makes sense, you have a verb. And then finally we have just know the state of being verbs. You have to actually memorize them. I've given you a list of linking verbs and helping verbs. They do not show action, but they do give information, and you need to know them. Here are examples. I am tall. Bob seems unhappy. Those are linking verbs. I equal tall, Bob equals unhappy. Then a helping word is Mary is working. Is the helping word. Now these are words that are not verbs. The negative adjectives like not and never, hardly, barely. I've given you a list of those words. Also, if you see a word to in front of verb, like to run, to sing, to jump, those are not verbs. They do not act like verbs. And if you see a verb that ends in ing, like running or singing or walking, unless they have a helping word in front of them, they are not verbs. Now, if they have a helping word in front of them, they're a verb. Another issue we run into with subjects and verbs is knowing that there are compound subjects and compound verbs. Here's a sentence that may have more than one verb. The shark swam and attacked. And look at the conjunction and. It's a fanboy. That gives us an indication. Now also the subject. There may be more than one. Dolphins and whales have some protection from the sharks. Once again, we had that word and. It could be for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. There are some other ways to know more than one subject or more than one verb, but right now we'll just focus on the fanboys. And then I'll want you to go through these practices in the downloaded version of this. So download this PowerPoint and go through the practices and get your feedback.